Hey guys! So today we are going to talk about learning to write narratives. And we're still in week 1 and this is day 4. So for this lesson you're going to need a piece of paper. So pause the video and go ahead and find a piece of paper. You can do this in one of your spiral notebooks, um, just not your math notebook or any of the other notebooks designated for something else, but just a piece of paper is good. Okay, so today's all about using a graphic organizer to plan for writing a narrative. Here are your standards. These are the same standards as the other day. I believe with guidance and support from peers is new, adults develop and strengthen writing as needed by planning, revising, editing, rewriting, and trying a new approach. And that's today's focus. So yesterday we evaluated pieces of narrative writing using that checklist. If we were in a class, you would be turning and talking to your partner about the important elements of a narrative, but right now I just want you to stop and think for just a moment about the first one that comes to your mind. So the important elements of narrative, remember we talked about dialogue, having characters, having a beginning, a middle, and the end. So if any of those things came into your mind, then you're on the right track. You're doing great. Today I'm going to show you how how to use a graphic organizer to plan a narrative. So you're going to take your piece of paper and you can either fold it so that there's 4 creases, or you can just draw on it 4 dotted lines. So if you wanted to fold it, you can fold it once, almost all the way to the half, and then again to get 4 creases. So when you open it, you'll have 4 lines. Or, see, mine has 4 lines. Or you could just draw them. So basically you're going to make what you see here. So pause the video and copy this down on your paper. Leave a spot for an introduction, in event number 1, event number 2, and conclusion. On the side of your paper, you're going to have your transition words. So this is how you're going to plan for writing your narrative. In the introduction, you're going to include characters, settings, and an interesting detail that's going to hook your reader, okay? Event number 1 is just something, let's take for example the story that you wrote the other day about something that happened to you. So the introduction is going to lead us into your story. It's going to hook us and keep us interested. But the event number 1 paragraph is where you're going to really start to talk about those details that lead up to the biggest part of your story, right? So if your story is about winning the spelling bee, the introduction would start off in the morning when you wake up, or talk about how much you prepared and studied and how nervous you are. Event number 1 might be the first round. So you might talk about details about how you thought you were going to get this word wrong, but you didn't. And alas, there were only 5 of you left. And then event number 2, you're going to talk about even more details. You're trying to get all of it out until you're getting to the conclusion. And you can repeat that as many times as you need to, meaning you can have an event 3, 4, depending on how much you want to write. But minimum, you should at least have 4 to 5 paragraphs. And then the conclusion is a lasting feeling for the reader, something that's like a thought that ties it all together. For example, and I knew that if I put my mind to it, I could win the spelling bee. Anyone can do it. All you have to do is apply yourself. So that's a lasting feeling, okay, that ties the entire writing and puts it in a box and puts a little bow on it. Then you're ready to deliver it to the reader. So we'll talk about conclusions a little later. But for now, that's what you are going to do, is make your graphic organizer and start to plan for your writing. Good luck!